Let the show begin. Howdy, folks. Episode 177 of This World Blows. It's the Christmas episode. Now, if you're here only audibly, you have no idea that I've decorated the set incredibly Christmassy. I've added the color red in tinsel behind me. And I've also put in Christmas lights, which you can't really see because of the tinsel. So that was work that was unneeded, but there are red and green Christmas lights hidden within this red and green tinsel. So, guys, please join me over on YouTube. Visibly watch me instead of just listening to me, all 15 of you. I dare you. I dare you to support me and just see what happens. Well, as much as I don't like to talk about current events, guys, we have to talk a little bit about the drones over Jersey, the alien invasion that is not happening. I just think it's so funny that this is now taken over the news, and the idea that aliens have come to the worst place on Earth is very funny. It's also like so American, the idea, like people, like everyone's like, there's some in Ohio now, and there's some over here. It's like this, once again, the lesson I have always to impart to anyone here is that nothing has anything to do with you. It's the most American idea that you think aliens are landing in Ohio. Yeah, they're coming to Ohio. It is all about you, whoever the hell you are. I think it's also funny, the idea of, let's say aliens did come, let's say they did land in Jersey, that still wouldn't change anyone's opinion about New Jersey. It would do nothing. It would not help. We would still go, yeah, that's a trash. It's trash. It's like most people have never been to New Jersey, and it's known as trash. Like it's a comically understood thing. I feel like Shelbyville in The Simpsons is based on New Jersey, about this like sister next door neighbor town that is a weird, shittier version of you. It may or may not be true, but that's how I feel. I think Jersey is Shelbyville. And if you disagree, please send me an email. We'll chat. So for Christmas, guys, it's funny. This is not planned, but like I was about last year during Christmas time that we were talking a lot about Alien Ant Farm, and I've talked about them a lot. Okay, let's be honest here. If you listen to this podcast, you've heard plenty about Alien Ant Farm. But there's one thing I've been sitting on for maybe 2 years, and I think I've even talked about it, teased the idea of it, but like it was just such an undertaking, I didn't know what to do with it. But there's an Alien Ant Farm documentary called Road to Wreckage that I found on YouTube. It's just like a tour doc, and it is the worst thing I've ever seen. I mean, it's funny for a guy like me. I like horrible things, but it is them pretty much just doing like sexual crimes and filming it, and it has so many or so few views on YouTube that it's not been shut down. But there's full nudity, tons of nudity, and what appears to be sexual assaults constantly happening. So we're going to watch a little bit of that here because I finally was able to curate it, and I pulled together some of the best scenes of the Alien Ant Farm documentary, Road to Wreckage. So let's have an Alien Ant Farm Christmas, guys. Let's watch a little bit of this. I want you guys to see what's been in my head and what I've not known how to deal with this. I've not known how to speak about it. Because it is a full documentary. It's like an hour and a half, documentary, and you have to sit through a lot of other stuff. You have to sit through them playing live in the 2000s and stuff. You have to sit through a lot of stuff, so I don't expect anyone to do that. So I've pulled together these key moments. Let's just take a watch. And there's no audio necessary here, I don't think. Okay, let's see. This is the lead singer, Dryden, snorting some kind of drug. I don't know, 1999. I don't know why you'd put that on your documentary. It's you guys doing drugs, snorting. And actually, I don't know how I'm going to have to be able to show this either because there's a lot of nudity coming up. That's some poop. He's wiped his ass right there. Now he's spreading his butt cheeks for you to see inside of his butthole. It's rock star stuff, Now he's pretending to jack off during the recording of his own song. I think he was changing the lyrics to penis-based lyrics as well. Very funny. Let's see what else he does. I mean, this is like if Steve-O was in a band. If Steve-O was a band, there was 4 Steve-Os playing music. That's Alien Ant Farm. Okay, here's another butthole and ballsack. I don't know if I'm going to have to blur this or if YouTube... The thing is, YouTube is letting them show this because it has so few views, but I feel like I'm going to get in trouble for the amount of penises and balls you're about to see, because this is just the beginning. And again, this is just curated moments. Complete nudity right there. That's Dryden once again getting completely naked, running around being silly. I guess this is slightly better than what's to come as far as the actions of their nudity, because this is at least attempting to be silly, but it's like, what kind of guys are you? I guess you see what kind of guys they're. And again, guys, if you're listening to this, you really do have to come to YouTube and watch this, because I've curated all the nude footage from their documentary Road to Wreckage, and it's kind of important that you see exactly the type of guys they were and probably still are. A lot of new. Okay, now they're playing with. I'm probably gonna blur this. They're literally all touching Dryden's dick and playing with it. They're making it make a song and sing. Okay. Very funny. Fat guy making a vagina out of his stomach. Dryden once again completely naked behind a tour bus. They're doing a beer bong. I mean, this kind of guy, these kind of Beavis and Butthead, like, booger eating, like, these guys are some of the grossest, dumbest people I've ever seen, potentially. They're like Ed, and Eddie as a band. They're like literally crusty. This guy's literally has his dick out, shaking it around the whole time. Oh my God. Can you just imagine this? And if you remember this guy, look at he's doing right there. This guy does this kind of autistic, fake autistic, weird personality. Okay, check this out. There's also violins. They had a whole orchestra come in to record on this album. That in the tour tape, there's half the time it's them jacking off, literally, physically pulling their dicks out and jacking off onto each other. And then they cut to, like, they show them, you know, well, we also had an orchestra for this album, because it shows them making an album, guys. I do recommend watching the whole thing if you want to check it out. It's called Road to Wreckage. And then right back into pulling your penis out and putting it on someone's hand while they're asleep. Yeah, it's like Jackass the band in the worst ways. Like, I don't know what's worse, the kind of guys that want to all, like, gangbang someone, have sex with the same person, or the kind of guys that are like this, that are just like wiping their poop and penis on each other constantly. Whatever these ape types are, I don't know which one's worse. Okay, now we're gonna see this weird poor girl is apparently being forced to show her breasts. It's a little disturbing. There's, like, you can clearly tell that they're pressuring her to do that. It looks like they're kind of grabbing too. It looks very assaulty, very like, we're drunk, but it's kind of crossing some lines here. Okay, there's a butt, there's another penis slap. I mean, well, I'm not going to blur this. I guess I'm going to leave this up and just see what YouTube does, but I feel like I might just get like a full account takedown just for showing the video that they have, that they promote. I don't know if this was like part of the, there's so much penis showing. It's like, it's unbelievable. It's like, I don't know if these guys like weren't having sex, so they're just like horny and they're just always getting naked and doing like youth camp kind of weird sexual-y stuff. There definitely is like a nerdy dweebazoid element to the. Look at him. Look how Steve-O he looks right there. Oh my God. Okay, so here's some women that are mad at them for probably some weird sexual thing they had done, like pulling their penises out for no reason, because that's rock star. Or they don't even act like they're trying to be rock stars. They act like they're trying to be scumbags, and they are succeeding. Their efficiency rate is high. Okay, now here's the interesting part of the documentary. About halfway through, they get to the horrible van wreck they were in. The tour bus wrecked while they were in Spain or some other country, and it looks horrible. There's blood in these photos, and we have a little bit to. We can listen to them talk about it. This is horribly disgusting, bloody photos. And I've heard them talk about a lot about how this tour bus wreck destroyed their band or kind of took them off the trajectory. Although I'd say every single band from their era is also not relevant now, so you can't really blame this wreck. But I'm sure it was not fun. Let's listen to Ty explain exactly what happened.
I remember that one time when you had the accident with the bus.
It was a hard time, you know. Dryden, our singer, he, broke his neck, and our guitar player broke his ankle, and it took a while to get back to where we were normal again, and we lost our bus driver, so that was kind of heavy, I think we were on the phone for
Uh-oh.
maybe
Did you guys hear
10
that?
minutes when we hit a semi-trailer.
You guys hear that one? They lost the bus. The driver of this bus died. Now, you just saw the nudity, you just saw the behavior of these guys, and also you probably know their music, which is maybe more offensive than the nudity, but either way, you know what you're getting with Alien Ant Farm. And can you imagine dying for this band? Dying for them to go play their shows. Imagine being whatever this poor old bus driver, whoever he was, just doing his job, and he died in the name of one of the most embarrassing bands on earth. I cut Ty off. Let's listen to the rest of this.
That was packed full of, that was parked off to the side, packed full of magazines. So it was like hitting a brick wall. Maybe even harder, I don't know, because there wasn't much give. But, and we hit it going probably about 70 miles per hour.
Okay.
And they said the bus driver got distracted, like he was reaching for a bag of chips or something like that, or a drink, and just accidentally swerved to the side of the road, like off the road, and hit this trailer that was just a guy sleeping.
Wait, they
on the side
said
of the
that
road.
they assumed that he was reaching for chips? What do you mean? What kind of evidence could they have that he was reaching for chips? Sounds like that's just how insurance goes over there in Spain. They go, yeah, the driver must have been reaching for chips. You guys know that classic. The driver was reaching for chips, like I said. Yeah, he was. He was reaching for chips. Sure. It's all the driver's fault, so there's zero payout. Yeah, so these guys got in a horrible bus wreck that killed the bus driver, and then their silly band, what are we to do? So we're only halfway through this documentary, and then, and guys, I'll tell you this much. I stopped, okay? But I promise you this much. The nudity continues directly after it shows them healing up in their wheelchairs. It goes directly back to butts and balls humping the ground. Sorry about the death. We got to get back to showing our buttholes. Not even for comedy. I mean, like if it was, so I was about to say for comedy, because it's like you're supposed to be musicians. If you were comedians, you could somehow say yes. If someone dies, that's sad, but you do have to get back to showing your buttholes. The show must go on in that sense. But if you're musicians, it's like you don't have to go back to showing your buttholes. Also, whoever edited this, you didn't have to show that directly after. You could have left all of the sexual assault footage out of this documentary, to be quite honest. You could have and should have done that. But I guess in this whatever mid-2000s era or early 2000s, they did not know it was not cool, or that it would be in the future like uncool to just rip a girl's shirt down. They had no... How could they have known? They're victims, if anything. They're victims of the future. And so, yeah, you guys, and Ty's, I think it's Zamor, Ty, the bassist. I really don't like I really don't like all of them for different reasons. They're all like stinky, booger-eating, kind of weird, gross guys in different ways. But Ty really annoys me. He's the one I did an episode on. We talked about how he claimed that Incubus got all the credit for that Alien Ant Farm should have gotten, which is hilarious. No matter how you slice it, that's hilarious. You shouldn't go around saying that, Ty Zamora. And then Ty left the band, and then Ty went on to be the guitar or bass tech for Limp Bizkit. Which is like, just stop doing interviews if that's what you've chosen to do. This is what I say all the time, because no matter what kind of cringy, horrible band you're in, if it is famous or got famous or whatever, if it continues, do not leave the group. Bassist of Incubus, guitarist of POD, drummer of Papa Roach, whatever. These are horrible, horrible, horrible bands, but you will never be in something bigger than that. You just won't. I'm sorry to tell you guys. It's just the truth. I think I covered it, but Chabelle's bassist that left, and POD's drummer that left, and or POD's guitarist that left, and Papa Roach drummer that left, they all started a band together, and that did not last, of course, because no one gave a shit. It's such a hilarious idea, thinking like, we've quit all the bands that we're famous in, or that the band is relatively famous, and now let's see if we can leverage ourselves as just one member of that band to be a new super group, a super new metal group. No one ever heard of that band. I don't think they ever made recordings or anything. They just tried to get together, and they must have immediately realized that cannot work. It will never work. But Papa Roach, Alien Ant Farm. Although let's talk about Papa Roach, because Papa Roach is part of the reason we know Alien Ant Farm, because Papa Roach is the one who signed Alien Ant Farm to some sub deal of a label they had, an insect based label. Because they had the Roach Boys, they got the Ant Farm Boys. I mean, they were literally trying to create a label roster full of insect-based bands, which seems actually kind of cool nowadays. If that were to happen now, I would kind of support it. But the idea of doing that is pretty funny, because it's like the genre doesn't even matter. Just like, as long as there's a bug in your name, get in here. Get in this label. It's a pretty funny idea. But Papa Roach is still going. Alien Ant Farm is still going as well. Although Ty Zamora had left, the band has continued on, and they are now making somehow even worse music. I mean, they made very, very bad music. Very, like, bad prog pop with a horrible singer. And this is what they're doing now. I mean, this is just as bad, but let's have a little listen to the song Storm's Over.
No one's wrong and no one's right. I know it's hard with me sometimes, and this should be easy. We've been through hell and back again.
I mean, this is one of those videos that has 3 sets. Or, I've discussed these kind of new current modern music videos that are very sure. We're in an era right now where it's like there's no reason to make a music video. It doesn't make sense at all. So people don't even know what faces to make. They're just like sitting there confused, but they don't know what this is going to look like. And if you look at it, it looks very bad. It's very awkward, very not good, because music videos, like I've just said it before, the only reason music videos used to look good is because they spent $300,000. Like, that's why it looked interesting, was because they showed you a billion things at a billion edits, hypersaturated, a lot of money spent, it made it look good. What they're doing now is that everyone has nice cameras that do look pretty good, so they film their own music videos like the TikTok folks. But truthfully, the TikTok folks' videos look better than this, and they all look very embarrassing. But this is just like they're trying to do classic music video where you can't retain someone's attention for 5 minutes watching these 3 different sets you're on. You just can't do it. Like, there's no fucking chance. We're not in that world anymore. There's no way. Very bad, very embarrassing. And that lead singer, Dryden, doesn't seem to have changed a bit. He doesn't seem to still be able to make any type of facial expression whatsoever. He has a weird, semi-autistic, just kind of a blank, like, I think of it more like caveman. Like, he looks like there's nothing going on there. And based on the amount I've seen his penis through this episode, it seems like, all the blood in his body is not in his brain. It's in his nutsack. So that's what the Alien Ant Farm folks are up to. They're still pushing. They're still trying. I heard one of the singles from the new album like a month ago, and I was like, I can't believe you could be this old and still be, and not simply pursuing music, but just like, how could you not know this is lame? How could you not know this sucks now? How could you do it again? I mean, I guess that's going against my point of saying don't quit. I guess my rule is this. If the band's going to continue and they're successful, don't quit. Doesn't matter if you hate the music, keep going. If the band's going to continue on this weird, embarrassing puddle of mud level, do quit. Then do definitely leave. There's no reason to go like this. It really is, it's a financial thing, guys. You got to go where the money's at. And if POD gets on a big tour, it's time to rejoin POD. Let's see, what else we got going on here? I thought about this. The phrase ring in the new year. What the fuck is that? There's nothing to, what is ring in? What is that based on? And I guess I truthfully could have just looked up, what is the origin of ringing in the new year? Does it mean call? I assume that means some type of telegraph, was to let people know it was a new year. They go, guess what? It's a new year. And they go, whoa, glad you rang that in. That's what I'm assuming it is. And I'm actually now not going to look it up because I've now lost care about what it could mean. But But so last episode we were listening to or we're checking out Victory Brooks, a lot of these artists, these artistes, these new Instagram, TikTok artistes that are really changing it all. And let's see. I got some more. I've always got more is the thing. Because now, once you've started it, once you click on anything, once it knows you hate it, it's going to give you way more. So it's kind of good for me because I love to hate this stuff. But there's this new one called Andy Darling. Let's check it out.
Let me introduce myself. AK-47, I grew up with it. You bitches been mad, I was throwing a fit. I swallowed the bullets and covered my dinner. It's so kids are tired, but you will get the night.
Wow. Yeah, this is, we're living through hell, folks. We're living through hell. And here's the funny thing about these type of self-recording home artists that keep reposting their same videos until someone, namely a 12-year-old, will look at it and share it. The funny thing about it is that it's no different than the OGs of the homemade videos like this one, which I don't even know who made this, but if you guys have been alive long enough, you've seen this. It's a classic, you guys. We all know it. But this is literally what I see when I watch anyone on TikTok doing their homemade video. You're literally, doesn't matter what kind of effect, what kind of CapCut, After Effects you put on. It does not matter what you do, guys. Because what you're doing is you're making a homemade music video that you filmed yourself and trying to make it look good. Another one of my favorites that whenever I see the TikTokies, I always also think of this classic. This is you guys. That's you. I don't care how young and cool you think you are. This is you. I don't remember the first time I saw that, but I love it so much. So in some ways, I don't know. I guess I'm always saying cross messages here. I'm saying it's the worst thing in the world, and yet I love it so much. I just thought of, like, what would happen if I had a genie and I said, get rid of these TikTok kids, get rid of TikTok, get rid of the cringe. Would I be happy? Because I guess, because my next thought was, of course, I would never do that. I would never get rid of this stuff. This is part of, like, this is the most fun thing of my life, is to watch videos like this. So I guess, I guess I'm saying that my hate is actually love. It's like a Christmas message. It's like kind of like a Grinch Christmas message, I suppose, where I'm learning that my hatred of things is actually love. It's actually a great, wonderful, positive thing, and I'm a great person. That's the Christmas miracle that I have now just learned. And I guess by listening, so have you. All right, let's let that be it. Let's let that be the it for the Christmas episode. This actually looks like I keep looking at the backdrop. It looks like I'm in a Chili's restaurant more than a Christmas scenario. It looks like a strange Chili's party. But you know what? Life is a strange Chili's party sometimes, especially on Christmas. That was episode 177 of This World Blows, the comedy podcast. Don't come at me with any problems. It's a joke. Okay, Alien Ant Farm, don't sue me. You made this video yourself. You gotta deal with it. Until next time, folks, goodbye.